Alright guys, it's the beginning of the week. We had a nice week close Monday. I usually don't trade on Mondays, just let price action do its thing unless there's some clear signs for me to take the trade. I just let it do its thing. So we're gonna look into monthly candles so far because I think some of you guys want to close your trades or take some profit. If we go just based on historical data, every time we break out of a consolidation with a nice, you can call it engulfing candle or expansion candle, it has a follow through candle. Here's one example. Previously, here's another example. When it breaks out of this area, next candle is an expansion candle. Same thing here, just breaking out of this highs, expansion candle. Here, breaking out of this area, expansion candle. Like most of the times it happens here. So you barely see a retrace candle and the following month turn out to be a bearish close. Overall, if you look at the previous data, the low should be in 89, 90,000 should be in, and this December has to close, or most likely it's gonna close in a positive candle, in a green candle. So that's one way to put it. Now on the weekly, I did mention that the weekly time frame expired, since we had the few entries somewhere around 53,000, somewhere were around like 57 or 58, and the last ones were like higher up, can remember. Now if you want to take some profits, then go ahead. The region that I want to see price, or I'm expecting price to actually react somehow, is this area, since these tend to be the time and mode targets based on monthly, right? It's a pretty big time frame. So if I expect price to do something, it will be around this area. Actually, it already tapped 107. The next target that I had was anywhere between 110. So anywhere in those areas, I see price maybe reacting. Doesn't have to react. Some people use Fibonacci ratios, so something like that. But I don't see price, unless something happens or we have a nice correction, going all the way down to this area of 84, 85. I don't see that anytime soon. So what I see happening though is price respecting most of the lows into what we see here. There's a low here, there's a nice low here, right? If it decides to take one low, most likely it's gonna take everything. But so far, I think price action is gonna stay above the the monthly open, which happens to be this area. So if you want to keep it short, daily might see some resistance here. There's a nice consolidation, a nice breakout. You want to see the daily close strong for continuation, otherwise we might see a small retrace going back into maybe this area. The monthly on here, as you can see, we tried to deviate below. It quickly got bought up into the wick. This is the weekly, this is the monthly open at a nice confluence with this area, but there were no candles below the 12 hour, I believe. Yeah, below the 12 hour, above the 12 hour, that actually closed below it. So the strength overall on the chart is enough for momentum to keep going up and for everybody to keep playing into longs, especially with BTC. As you can see, most of the alts are retracing a little bit, but overall I don't see this going down into 88, 87 for now. Maybe for Q1, halfway in January, at the end of January, we might see some retracements. But for December, there's like we're halfway in. I see this still going a little bit higher, possibly. But if today closes into a doji or evening star, whatever you want to call it, then most likely we can see a retrace, but I don't see a retrace all the way down here. Just most likely into the first demand zone, or this area, into the weekly open, retest it, and create another high, and then January I can see price dropping a little bit. So for BTC, I still bullish. I don't see any difference of trying to trade otherwise. As you can see here, monthly trend is active all the way to like July, right? There's a higher time frame that is active all the way to like October 25th. Doesn't mean that it has to go all the way up until those dates, but it's looking pretty good, right? So just keep it simple. If you see signs into your target areas, most people probably use Fibonacci ratios. Maybe some people use closer into 120, 130. Just take profits and just see how price evolves into that area. If it reclaims, jump in back. Otherwise, just keep holding. I don't see any reason to start trading, overtrade these areas. Now, just to quickly go into ETH BTC, as I mentioned before, I see this going really into momentum play Q1. So if you're not positioning into ETH, I don't know what you're doing. You gotta hurry up. This is just flipping over. You had a nice reclaim into this area. So if you have some BTC that you're kind of tired of holding, just move some into BTC. Solana, same thing as the post. This is the area that I told you to buy, 206, 204. If you didn't buy, well, there's probably another opportunity. I think overall this is gonna keep holding. It might even go a little bit lower, but there's still a good chance for you to get into it. Weekly looks extremely well. This is still a really good area to bet if you want to get in. And yeah, I think that's probably it. I don't see, most of the coins are probably retracing just because BTC is going into a solo run, but overall everything looking good. I think this got listed on some exchange. Yeah, but hope you guys had a nice weekend, and we'll give an updated version of the AI coins, AI plays that we had, Solana plays with Ray, JTO, and ETH plays. We might even have some RWA just to add into the mix, since they tend to keep going up quite a bit. But yeah, that's everything.